Hey, fellow watchers, we're watching whatever. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Danny.
We're here back for the Glory episode 6. So last we saw that we saw a little glimpse of Myung-ho beaten bloody, and the question is this like a foreshadowing of something that's to happen, or is this something that actually happened? And who's the culprit? So, do you have anything you want to say before we start?
Yeah, I kind of remember thinking that it was probably either the most obvious kind of uh um a person would be um the rich guy. What's his name again?
Chejun.
Yeah, Chejun. But I was thinking that maybe it could also be the husband. That would be a twist. Like, seems like a nice guy, but we've gotten hints of him being kind of like shady, maybe because of his kind of like like adulterous kind of interest in Dong-eun. So maybe he's capable of like like effing someone up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll find out soon. Again, Danny's new to the show. I've already seen it. So this is going to be a first watch for him. And we're going to start the show. Before we start, for all our YouTubers, we ask that you subscribe, like our channel here, leave us some comments, and for everyone on Patreon, thank you for joining us. And we're going to start here in 3, 2, 1, start. I really do like this intro.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's interesting that the only faces we see are the young version and older version of Tongun and the Doctor.
Yeah.
Maybe, so maybe he's not the bad guy I thought he was, or he's the main bad guy.
미쳤네 펠로우가 어디 원장을 오라가라야?
아무리 바빠도 밥은 챙겨 먹어야.
다이어트인데 딱 4kg만 더 빼서 크리스마스 때 괌 가서 비키니 입을 건데.
아, 화이팅.
파이팅.
Picturing your mom in a bikini.
Yeah.
어디다 하게? 압구정? 청담?
아니, 세명시. 내가 관심 있는 사람이 있는데.
Stalker.
Yeah.
돈 벌겠다도 아니고 의료 낙후 지역에 일조하겠다도 아니고 로맨스.
다시 쏘겠습니다.
아유, 남자스러워. 아우.
풀만 먹는 거 맞아?
So one thing I was thinking in the previous scene, the mom says like, "I'm just glad you didn't stay in the military forever." So that must mean he's like pretty badass, or he was like,
남의 손안
right?
타게 직접 하고.
Yeah, it would make it sound like. Well, it depends on what he did in the military.
이제 한 거야?
He could have gone in as like a medic and just stayed
That's
in
true.
working as a doctor.
Oh, you're right.
나 무서워 엄마. 뭐가 무서워? 극간년이.
그년이 아니라 예솔이. 예솔이가 무서워. 세상 사람들이 다 알면 결국 예솔이도. 지금은 몰라도 언젠간 예솔이가 커서 다 알게 되면. 그게 너무 무서워.
Those are things you should have thought of if your goal was to be a good mom.
해결할 방법은 뒤에 없어. 늘 앞에 있어. 인생을
Money.
그런 거야.
Do you think if Yeonjin's mom was a better person that she would have grown up differently?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Right? It's a lot of the nurture.
Yeah.
나에게 빌어야 해, 연진아.
I saw some behind the scenes for the show, so some interesting stuff. Which I'll talk about at the end.
아, 나는 왜 우리 무쌤이 당연히 나이 많은 연상을 좋아한다고 생각했을까?
And I did find out this drama is based on actual events.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So again, I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end, but these are based on true events.
여자인 걸 감사하게 생각해야겠다. 남자였으면 진짜 세게 한 대 맞았어. 알아?
진짜요? 선생님은 여자랑만 싸우실 것 같은데.
저도 농담.
Man, the way she counters back at everyone with
Yeah.
her words is just incredible. Got to give props to the writer.
Yeah.
송명호는 오토바이.
Man, why would you like tempt fate and piss off a guy like this, dude?
Because I think she probably feels she has nothing left to lose anymore.
Oh,
Right? And she's not going to let people bully her.
right.
고인일 수도 있다고요. 송명호가.
I think she's one of my favorite characters.
이모님과 제 사이의 약속은 아주 심플하거든요. 이모님은 제가 맡긴 일, 저는 이모님이 맡긴 일. 서로 그 일만 해주면 됩니다. 우리 지금 너무 가까워요, 이모님.
It's kind of sad. I was saying she wants to get close to her and, bond with her more, but she's keeping it at arm's
Right.
distance.
I was thinking it's actually better for that lady though. Like for instance, if she really did kill him, then it's better for her not to know that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, logically it is. It's better for her for sure.
Right.
But for, the lady's sake, it just feels bad for her.
뭐야 저거?
He got jacked. She's so scared now, searching up any reports about her.
지 멘트나 직접 못 쓰는 게 무슨 기상 캐스터야. 어머, 들으셨어요?
야, 크게 말했어. 이 방송국은 나한테 달에 꼴랑 220주지만 내 남편은 이 방송국에 2억 2천은 쓴단 소리야. 너 나이 어린 거? 너 뭐 언제까지 어려? 내년에도 어려? 후년에도 어릴 거니?
보자 하니까
나 아무리 콜라겐을 쳐먹고 쳐바르고 용을 써도 내 자리는 어림도 없다는 뜻이란다. 내가 심심해서 재미로 이 재계약 맞게 하지 마.
Always the bully.
Right. This chick was probably used to being the bully, but she came up against the crazy lady.
Yeah, much crazier bully.
Yeah. But the translation was a little bit off. She was saying like I could get your like contract canceled for fun or something, right?
Yeah.
다른 사건이고요. 18년 전이랑은 달라 세상이.
그래서 18년 전이랑 다르게 드리잖아요, 저도.
염려해줘서 고마워.
생색이었어요.
Even someone high up on the police force has to take crap from someone like that, Bowing down before money.
Right. But it's because he's shady, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was
Into,
helping
like,
the
a
family from the
future or
beginning.
근데 이게 단순한 부재인 건지 갑작스러운 부고인지 모르겠어서. 언니 까만 옷 많잖아요.
I like that reference. All the black funeral clothes for all the people she's gonna get back at.
Right.
Has she always worn something black in every scene?
I've been trying to think like when in her like teacher's uniform, I think she's wearing colors, but now I can't remember.
But even underneath, at least, I think there's something black. Like right now, right? She has a
Right.
black turtleneck underneath.
알거든, 연진아.
That's she's referencing the butterfly effect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, she sets in motion something, and it.
Right.
실일 대표에 감사드립니다. 늦은 시간까지 고생 많이 하셨습니다, 대표님. 수고하셨어요.
You know what I really do enjoy about Korea is that I don't know if this park is an actual place, but they do have these kind of themed parks for people, to enjoy.
Oh.
So it makes it much more fun to go out and kind of do things. That's a really cool set, or either a real park or a set, but it's really cool.
She's not wearing black here. Because she's trying to seduce this dude. She has to wear the white, like appear innocent.
어디냐? 좀 보자. 집으로 올래?
우리 둘이 보자고? 왜?
Now I realize what she's doing there now in that scene in the dark.
Like pulling out money.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, it it didn't sync up with me what she was doing. But she's
Oh.
getting all that cash for Do-Hyun.
Alright. Hilarious.
Hey, fellow watchers, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check us out on our Patreon. Links are in the description below. And now back to our program.
난 네가 키 큰 게 좋다니까. 내 키가 창피하면 나랑 살겠냐?
나 어제 비행해서 다리 아파서 그랬어요.
네 친구보다 무조건 알 큰 거면 된다며. 야, 이거 제일 크네.
They're just not hiding the fact that they're following her.
Alright. So she gets to see like who they are, right?
That's what I would figure, right? I mean, if she gets away from them, she won't know who they are at all.
무슨 브레이크를 그따구로 밟어? 아, 내가 진짜 존나 아끼는 렌트카인데.
It's a precious rental car.
그 사람 차 박았으면
Oh man.
차도 박살나고 길바닥에서 야단도 맞고 무슨 경우가 이래?
You know, I've seen that a lot where they kind of like touch and poke at somebody.
현금이 아니라
Crazy, dude.
I'm guessing it's supposed to be some type of
번호 찍어요 핸드폰.
like an aggressive, threatening gesture, I guess.
Right. Only because there's no guns in Korea, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people still have knives, man. You've seen those movies with the gangsters carrying sushi knives.
Right.
But then
But
again,
I mean, with a knife, you got a chance, you know.
I don't know. If someone had a sushi knife in front of me, you know, it's.
I mean, there's a huge difference, dude.
There is, but at the same time, when you've got like a 10-inch blade in front of you,
I'll
still a
take
very
that
minimal chance.
100% of the time over like someone with a gun.
제가 이모님 남편에게 가서 당신 부인이 당신을 죽여달라고 했다. 다 터뜨릴 수도 있는 문제잖아요.
So she's not trusting this lady right now.
전재준이 사모님
She's
학교
doubting
앞에
her.
왔어요. 예솔이 지켜보다 갔고. 전재준이 쫓다 보니 저도 거기 있었고 마침 사모님을 본 거예요. 아우 반가워라 하는데 그놈들 차가 보였고요. 근데 전 생각을 안 했어요. 아예 딴 생각을. 그냥 카메라 만지는 거, 운전하는 것만으로도 벅차서. 그리고 사모님, 그렇게 따지면 난 가서 얘기할 사람이 더 많네요. 그냥 배추 사면서 좋았어요. 사모님 만나고 꿈이 생겨서. 우리 선아랑 저녁을 먹는 허겁지겁 먹어치우는 그런 밥 말고 찌개도 끓이고 계란도 부쳐서 천천히 먹어도 되는 그런 저녁이 내 꿈이에요. 생각만 해도 얼마나 좋든지.
Sad.
Yeah, you gotta think how bad your life is to where just eating a proper dinner with your daughter is like a dream.
Without being afraid.
Yeah. Just being able to do normal things without fear. And somehow she still remains so happy.
미안해요. 왜 이 모양인지.
오늘은 제가 실수했어요. 꿈 이루게 해드릴게요.
Even though age-wise, Song Hye-Gyo is past her prime, she's still gorgeous.
Is she past her prime?
Age-wise, you know, people, once you're like in your 40s, you're kind of considered past your prime.
걔 말이야. 연진이 딸. 거기 연진이 그거 아니냐?
예솔이 생일?
키그러운 건 맨 위에 올려두었습니다.
Everyone has a business card.
누가 왔다고?
3년 됐나요? 손명호 씨랑 연락이 안 돼서요. 손명호 씨 지금 어디 있습니까?
하이, 뭐 그쪽까지 소명으로 찾지. 나도 그 새끼 연락 안 되는데 무슨 일이실까요?
Oh, his wife switched up her cigarettes.
Yeah, this guy's very observant. But again, cigarettes can be just a coincidence, right? I mean, how many
Right.
people smoke the same type of brand?
이유를
Right.
아직 얘기 안 하셨나? 혹시 그쪽도 뭐 받았어요? 아이, 맞네. 뭐 받았어요? 뭐라고 협박해요, 그 새끼가? 먼저 찾는 사람이 연락해주기 어때요?
전재준 씨가 빠르지 않겠어요? 친구분이신데.
친구 아니고
Jeez.
데리고 쓰던 애라.
It's funny. The first thing he thinks of is how's he threatening you or blackmailing you?
How much do those things weigh? Oh, they're like really light.
Yeah. Probably just big pieces of empty plastic.
Alright. Is this a Korean game?
I don't know if it's a Korean game or if it's an Asian.
감사합니다.
예?
Right.
Look that up after this. That pork belly looks so good.
When you hear it with those sounds.
Oh, just hear the little background noise of her crying and screaming.
Oh.
You know, shows and movies like this does something to me, dude. It just. Oh.
Yeah, man, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You get to get you like emotionally like invested, and sometimes it feels a little manipulative, but the show does like an okay job of like writing that line, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like every episode, they gotta kind of remind us, hey, remember what happened to this girl?
Yeah. Well, I think to keep us, to bring back that anger and to be rooting for her.
Right.
One of our viewers commented about, I had mentioned earlier in episode 1 and 2 how she's always eating kimbap. So they, without spoiling it, they were just kind of saying, we might understand why, and I think this is the reason why, right? Hearing the sound of meat sizzling just freaks her out. So.
Right. She probably can only eat like pre-made food or something.
Yeah.
들어와요, 얼른.
It's like his dream come true right now, man.
Yeah. The girl just appearing in front of your door.
Yeah. He's like, what? I didn't have to go stalk her?
Yeah. That would be funny if he opened it. Are you stalking me?
전에 물었죠. 어디로 가고 있냐고. 뭐 때문에 이렇게까지 하는 거냐고. 아주 긴 얘기예요. 그 어떤 순간도 아름답지 않을 거고. 들을래요?
After she first met him, do you think she planned to include him in her plot?
늘 화냈다고.
After she first met him? I won't say since I know.
엄마 파티가? 나도 빨리 엄마처럼 되고 싶다.
They keep focusing on that injury on her foot.
Right.
I haven't seen the show, but I heard this little girl is on Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
비싼 시계, 비싼 백, 비싼
She plays a younger version of her.
비싼 코트,
I
비싼
saw that show, but I can't remember that.
구두는 다 가볍고.
How about you teach her morals and values?
She doesn't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's true. You can't teach what you don't know. Well, that's some foreshadowing there.
Right.
I'll never go down. I'll never sink.
어쩐지 애가 존나 예쁘다 했어.
That's funny.
아까 인포직원분 다녀가셨었는데요. 내 분 찾을 때? 휴대폰은 아닌 것 같은데.
I heard the Korean Airlines and some other Asian airlines, the flight attendants have to maintain a weight standard.
Even the dudes?
I don't know. I don't know about the guys. I just know as far as the girls go.
Crazy. This Seems like it'd be illegal to do that in some countries, huh?
Well, I think in a lot of Asian countries, there's a lot of things that
would
get
be
by.
illegal in other countries.
Yeah. Look, she's painting the green
Strongest
shoe.
shoes. With a giant bag of money.
Yep. That she probably stole from her dad, I'm guessing.
Right.
And the green shoes.
Yeah. So it was a girl who messed him up.
But that's all 4 girls. It's her,
멈출 생각은
Yeonjin,
없는 거예요?
Sara, who's
그들보다 더
painting the
나은
shoe, and then
사람이잖아요,
Hye-Jung, who also has a pair.
Right.
복수가 끝나면 후배의 세상도 폐허뿐일 거예요.
I'd be so scared if I was this dude.
You're trying to get her to be like, hey, you know, don't think about revenge, get on with your life, and she's just laughing her head off.
좋겠어요, 선배는. 초콜릿 상자 같은 유년이었을 거고 구김 하나 없는 좋은 어른으로 커서. 전에 내용터 봤죠? 고칠 수 있어요?
The double meaning, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's probably a double meaning there. Physical healing the scars, but also healing her emotional scars.
고작 한쪽 팔만 보고 그런 표정이 되는 거예요? 그러면서 멈추라고요.
All along her legs, her arms, her back.
이렇게 한 거예요? 그것들이? 그 새끼들이?
Those things. Those
Yeah.
fuckers.
그러니까
Yeah.
돌아가요.
Yeah, 그것들이 is those things, right? He's not even considering them people.
할게요, 망나니.
I mean, is she like manipulating him this whole time?
갈 좀 줄게요. 말해봐요.
I mean, she might.
뭐부터 해줄까요? 어떻게 해줄까요?
But how much I mean, you know, it wasn't like she was doing a whole lot to try to manipulate him. And this is his choice here. Who do you want me to kill first?
This felt crazy too, man.
Well, it's like,
I mean,
we've been talking about everyone in her life who comes to her is crazy.
Right.
Oh man.
I mean, I thought he was just a stalker, but he's like a homicidal maniac or something.
So a couple things I'll bring up, but first let's talk about the episode. What do you have to? I'm trying to figure out what I can say since I've already seen it.
I think this is a good one. I think we see her kind of like in two different people. She's kind of you know, like really put this trust, right? One person is kind of like came to her, right? And then did this guy come to her too? Yeah, right, with the stalker tactics.
Yeah,
maybe that's why she's able to trust them enough to kind of reveal like so much information, and maybe because they're also like damaged people as well, they're so willing to kind of help her. This episode, like that, especially that kind of last scene, seems like so. It works on like multiple levels. Like first of all, her kind of you know, the line like, you know, can you fix this or whatever, and it's, you know, like surface level is just like the skin, like him being a plastic surgery. Secondly, like you know, like fixing her as a person, although it seems like she's saying she's kind of beyond repair. And then also the kind of like taking off her clothes, she's kind of revealing herself to him, you know. But is that all we are, right? Like I mean, obviously those physical scars probably represent like real deep emotional scars as well, but yeah, I mean, his reaction to it, do you think that's realistic?
I would, you know, to me, to a point, it is, right? Because if that was me in a situation and it was someone that I really deeply cared for, I think I would have a similar type of answer.
But I mean, they're not even like really dating. He barely knows her really.
But
I
I think
mean,
the point we have to understand here with what the writer was doing was, it's not the fact that they're not even dating, it's the fact that for him it's a true, like, he's in love with this girl, right?
right, because he's like willing to move to some like weird
Quit
city
his
to like
job, move to a
be
different city, open his own practice just to be near her,
right.
right?
But
So
is that
it's kind of,
realistic?
I would say it is. I would say to a degree it is, right? I mean, there's lots of people who'd be willing to do something like that for the sake of someone they love.
So then you think it's realistic that this dude who like doesn't really know much about this girl, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, he knew nothing about her past or anything. He barely knows anything about her. And then, I mean, from the beginning, like, following like Stalker 101, like following her to campus and like doing all like sneaking up on her at the park and stuff, and then moving to the same city where he knows like she lives and stuff, and then all of a sudden just saying like I'm in love with you and I'll kill for you or whatever. That seems a little bit unrealistic. Unless we're
Well,
supposed to think like this dude is like crazy,
well,
I don't think like he's
I
like normal,
I
or
would
we're
again,
supposed to think
I wouldn't say it's unrealistic, right? In history, we learned through history that wars have been fought for love.
oh,
Wars
but
have
this
been
isn't
fought over.
love. Like he barely knows her.
But who are we to say how what his love is, right? We don't know how he
uh,
feels. We can't
I
judge
don't know. I
depending
mean,
on our own, our own ability to love somebody. So
I think
I think
in
what the
it.
show is trying to
Uh,
show us is that the what the show my thought is, what the writer wants us to understand is that this person is deeply in love with her, even with that, oh, really doesn't know her much. He does, you know, it's kind of besides that point, is the fact that he has these deep feelings for her, right? And be, right now, in the sense, he's becoming a kind of almost like a white knight, right? Someone who's going to not rescue her, but now he's going to be
right.
her
He's
ally
like,
and helper.
I mean, that's like the nice way of saying he's white knighting, but I mean, you could also say like he's like simping for her, right?
But yeah,
But
that's the other
I
word
don't think
too.
it's really, yeah. I don't think it's for me personally. I don't think it's realistic. I think if anything, I wouldn't say it's love. It's probably just infatuation because she's like beautiful or whatever, and like I guess she's he knows she's pretty smart because he's like stalked her in college and stuff. And then they've played that game together. So obviously, like he knows parts about her, but like one of the things that's like
But
probably the biggest part of her life and her character and her like her herself, right, as an adult, is something he just found out like a couple minutes
Mhm.
ago, and now he's willing to kill for her, and that seems like kind of
I don't see that as,
insane.
oh, insane. Yes, insane. Yes,
Yeah, he's
absolutely
insane.
insane.
Okay, right, because
Unrealistic,
he's
no,
murderous. Yeah.
because
You don't think
there,
that's something?
no, because I can't get to, I don't remember the specifics, but there are stories of people
Oh,
who have done similar stuff.
right, but and they're crazy.
Yes,
They're
that's what I'm saying.
crazy,
It's
and
not
it's
about
uh,
mentally about how crazy or insane someone is. We're
uh,
just talking about, is it realistic or not, and that's why I'm saying yes, it's realistic because people have done similar stuff, right? Just like
okay.
just like if we never heard of the O.J. Simpson case, but someone made a story about some wife split from her husband. She goes out on a date, and the dude in a murderous rage cuts, kills, and beheads them. You'd be like, "Whoa, that's kind of crazy," right? But no, that really happened.
Yeah.
So they're
I mean, yeah, so real
because
life
he's
is
crazy,
crazier than fiction, right?
hmm and
Right.
because he's
No,
crazy, we can
mhm.
understand that he would be willing to do something like that.
Okay, right. So he is crazy. That's like we both agree that this fool's like nuts, right?
Every guy around her is crazy.
Right.
right?
Yeah, we talked about that at
yeah,
length
we
about
figured that
how
out.
yeah,
Look at
right,
her 선배, her
right.
upperclassman, the teacher who
Killed his
killed his own
dad.
dad,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Right.
believe
That
that they're
creepy
crazy.
fool from school.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, everybody. Right. Okay. So I mean, for the past I don't know how many episodes, I was betting that this fool was some kind of crazy stalker, but I didn't expect him to be like like a murderous, like homicidal, like maniac or whatever.
Well,
But
now
yeah, I
now
guess like
now the
uh
other thing is, is he really a homicidal maniac, or when he says I'll kill them, is he being literal or is he being figurative in the way
right,
most people talk about? I'm gonna kill this person, meaning I'm just gonna
right,
do something to hurt them or to get back at them.
right, right. Yeah,
So
right. So he's using it as a metaphor,
maybe,
but
or
she means it
maybe
like
he really
literally.
means.
Uh,
We don't know. He's crazy
yeah.
enough. Maybe he really means I'll kill them.
Right. Like I was thinking about like in the credits, like when they show the scalpels and they show his face, I thought like, he must be crazy. Like it reminded me of like Dexter or something, you know? Um and and so that's why I thought maybe he was a bad guy. Like it was gonna turn out that he's like friends with like the bullies and he was gonna
Mm.
like, he's gonna betray her or something like that, or he's somehow related to the bullies. But that's actually still possible. It's actually still that could be like the twist. But
The big
anyway,
twist.
like right, like the people who like she trusts the most are all gonna betray her or something. Like her mom and everyone else. Let's see.
So I checked really
Yeah.
quick. The game, the Padak, the Go game. It's
Uh-huh.
actually a Chinese game.
Okay.
It was invented
All
in
right.
China, and then obviously
Okay.
spread throughout when China
Right.
held Korea as one of its territories. I'm
Right.
sure it spread through that. Yeah, what I was saying with earlier during the show, talking about how it's based on real life events. So there are multiple events that have happened in Korean society with bullying, but some of the bigger ones, like one of the ones that this was based on, was a girl who was actually burned with curling irons, hair curlers.
Crazy.
She was for 20 days. She was tormented by her bullies. She had finally ended up telling it, right, and the story was like when they're bullying her, like at first she was asking her dad, who her dad's like a chef, so they're not like a rich family. But she was
Right.
asking her dad, can I transfer schools, please? But her dad had just thought, oh, she just either her friend's going to a school or she wants to just she's not doing well. She wants to go to an easier school or something, right? He didn't take her seriously, and they ended up getting her so bad that she was hospitalized. Her tailbone was protruding because they beaten her so badly. And the crappy part about it is it made the news. And one thing I found about the Korean legal system is if someone comes up and confesses their crime, they generally get a lighter sentence. And kids under the age of 14 most of the time do not get any kind of punishment legally. Nothing goes on their permanent record, right? So their slate is completely clean. So the main perpetrator, she came up, and after all this came to light, she came up and made a confession. But they said that her confession it wasn't even like she was sorry. She's like, yeah, I did it. We did this because we want whatever reason was, right? It just had no indication that she was sorry at all for anything she did. And the case actually went to court, and the judge for her case was like, we are going to make an example that this cannot happen in this country and whatever. But he would not say what her sentencing was. He's like, we he's like, this is a private matter for them, so I'm not going to say what the sentencing is, this and that. And the school itself, they're like, oh, we'll look into it and see what happened. And they're like, it was a she said kind of thing. And everyone's like, dude, we have proof. You can see how badly she's been damaged from this. Like, what do you mean she said versus she said? And later on, years later, they find out the judge's sentencing was probation. So she literally got to go right back home as if nothing had happened.
Crazy.
And there was a second there's a second case that came out. This one, the girl actually, she's in her like early 30s now, and she's come out on like TV programs and stuff to talk about it. But with her, what they did was they took a hair straightener and they clamped it on her arm for about 5 minutes.
Oh.
And again, right? Nothing happened to them, to the perpetrators. There was no kind of punishment, no legal recourse. And we don't know what the names of them are, but people were able to find out. Obviously, someone found out their names. It was two girls. One of them is now a teacher, I think, and the other one is a social worker.
Wow.
So when we were first watching it, I remember you were asking, like, does this stuff really happen? And answer is yes, right? We have two specific examples of that happening.
I can imagine like the writer hearing those stories or whatever, and then wanting to like, get like find justice for these like characters in this way. It's like it's a revenge fantasy, right? So many times like people, like go through stuff and never feel like they've received justice. So these shows kind of offer us some kind of like vicarious relief or whatever, whether we've been burned or whether we feel like we've been wronged or something. That's probably why these shows like appeal to us. I feel like it's, last time I was thinking like, is it like Korea does these so well, and I feel like it, do Koreans often feel like a sense of injustice like stronger than other places? But I think revenge fantasy movies are just and shows are like probably like a worldwide thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's too crazy, man. I mean,
sad to hear
I
about
hear stories. Yeah, I've heard worse stories about stuff that's happened to people in Korea and in like Japan and America, right?
Yeah.
Like everywhere. Like you'll hear awful stories about people who've just been gone through the most horrible stuff, whether it's through bullies or other types of abuse, and yeah, you just feel like sometimes just the like, I don't know, like if you keep thinking about it, you can't live, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what these shows do, right? Like it'll drive you crazy. Like, and we can't all be Batmans or whatever and go out or be like, you know, handsome doctor and offer to like, kill people for them, right? We just, but if we think about it, like it's, yeah, maybe that's why these shows appeal to us, because we hear about these stories and then in this way we feel like that justice somehow or something. And but yeah, I mean, you read the news and it's just like just story after story is just horrible things happening to people, and half the time, like, there is no justice, right? Or at least there's no justice the way that we would want it to be doled out, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I could see how a show like this would be so popular. And I think the show's kind of veers a little bit too close to being like a little too bloodthirsty for me, but I think they they rein it in a bit,
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bloodthirsty enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I felt watching this, like when the teacher died, right? The way he died, I was. I mean, it was great that yes it happened, but at the same time, I was kind of like, man, they could have done such a worse job to him.
Like, so like for you it would have been like 4 episodes long. Teacher dies in episode 1 and then the other bullies all die. Every episode is just one person getting like their comeuppance or whatever, right?
Pretty much.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It wasn't bloodthirsty enough. That's funny. I wonder. Yeah, overall, still enjoying it. Still looking forward to watching more, dude.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a wrap for episode 6. Again, everyone who's watched up to now, thank you for watching. Remember for everyone on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. Again, put something in the comments for us. Everyone who's watching us on Patreon, thank you very much for your support. And we'll see you here next time on episode 7. Bye.
Thank you.